Nullification. How to Resist Federal Tyranny in the 21st Century. By Thomas E. Woods, Jr. Narrated by Alan Sklar. Copyright 2010 by Thomas E. Woods, Jr. This unabridged audiobook is published by arrangement with Regnery Publishing, Incorporated, and was produced in the year 2010 by Tantor Media, Incorporated, which holds the copyright thereto. Chapter 1. The Return of a Forbidden Idea. When House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was asked by a reporter in 2009 where in the Constitution she found the authority to impose a health insurance mandate on Americans, she laughed and replied, "Are you serious? Are you serious?" The reporter answered that indeed he was. The Speaker just shook her head and then took another question. Pelosi's press spokesman clarified the Speaker's non-answer by explaining that this was not a serious question. Senator Pat Leahy was asked the same thing. Where in the Constitution is the federal government granted the authority to do this? His answer? There's no question there's authority. Nobody questions that. He had no idea, in other words. Senator Mark Warner, in turn, came out with this gem of constitutional insight. There is no place in the Constitution that talks about you ought to have the right to get a telephone, but we have made those choices as a country over the years. Got that? Americans have been purchasing telephones all these years, even though the Constitution doesn't expressly authorize us to. And according to Senator Warner, the federal government is doing pretty much the same thing when it forces the people to buy certain things even though the Constitution nowhere expressly authorizes it to. The difference that managed to escape Senator Warner is that in a free society, individuals do not require constitutional authority to act. Government does. The controversy over health care reflects a much broader and deeper constitutional void in American life. Some 15 years earlier, a Supreme Court justice had asked the United States Solicitor General, the government's lawyer for Supreme Court cases, if he could name an activity or program that, in his view, would fall outside the bounds of what the Constitution authorizes the federal government to do. He could not. This contempt for constitutional limitations on the federal government is by...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?